So the women's Beanpot semifinals took place last night at Matthews Arena, and it's going to be BU and Northeastern going back to the championship game at TD Garden. It's a repeat of last year's championship, which I think is so exciting. But the semifinals were so electric, Annabelle. It was the biggest crowd in Northeastern women's hockey history, as well as the biggest crowd at a women's Beanpot school site ever. It was over 3,000 people there. I wasn't there last night because I had other commitments, but I was blown away, and it just got me so excited for the championship game, which I know is going to be even at a completely different level.
So awesome. And even Northeastern's coach, Dave Flint, said in 17 years, he's never seen a crowd like that here at Matthews. And just to think 17 years is a long time. And just for not only the coach and the fans to be a part of that, but for the players to experience that, that's something you'll never forget.
Yeah. And you know what? I remember talking to Dave Flint last year just about the women's Beanpot and it being at TD Garden. And he said, I remember when I started at Northeastern, we were just fighting to get the national championship game televised. That's all we wanted. We just wanted to get it on TV so people could watch it. And he said, it's just so incredible to see how far the sport has come. Now, every game is televised. There was so many people there in the crowd. And honestly, I was worried for Matthews Arena. This arena is old. It's ancient. There's sections you can't even walk in. I was like, is it going to collapse? Is it going to collapse during the semifinals? But no, truly, I was really blown away by it. And I think also considering the fact that it is Northeastern's probably the last time that Matthews Arena will host a Beanpot championship ever, because the men's game is always at TD Garden, and the women's usually alternates every 4 years. It would, next be back at Northeastern 4 years from now. And, I think considering the fact that they do have plans to rebuild the rink, I know they haven't necessarily set specific dates, specific timelines, but it seems like that was probably going to be the last time there was a Beanpot game played there. And I think it's really special, especially for that rink, which has meant so much to the hockey community in Boston for so long.
Yeah, definitely. And especially for Northeastern to just come out and ball out, right? They came to play like they have in the past couple of seasons, but scoring 3 goals in the first period. Are you kidding me? That is what my college coach would call the first punch. And not just the first punch, but a knockout punch. That means you show up, first whistle, when the puck drops, you are coming and you are making sure that is a knockout hit.
Yes, so Northeastern ended up beating Boston College 4-2, but this was a game, like you said, that Northeastern was dominating from the get-go. And when we spoke last week, we were both thinking you know what, I think that this is going to be the better game of the two semifinals. We thought that this would be the more tightly contested game. There were the two teams coming in with the best records, and Northeastern was coming off such a hot streak. BC wanted to, avenge the fact that they didn't make it to the championship game last year. But no, Northeastern dominated from the start. And, no surprise, you saw Skylar Irving get in on one of those goals with an assist. You saw Taze Thompson, who seems to score in every single Beanpot, regardless of the school she's playing for, because she used to play for Harvard. You saw her get in with a goal. And their freshman goaltender, Lisa Jensen, is incredible. She has been so good all season long, and she continues to perform in the hardest moments. And Dave Flint didn't put her in net every game to start at the beginning of the season. He was rotating through with one of their other veteran goalies, but she has earned that spot in net, and she's proven that she's up to the task and up to these really big moments.
It's exciting. She had 18 saves in the third period alone, right? And end of the game, you get fatigued. That's more so when you tend to make mistakes. And for her to show up for her team in that way, this Northeastern team is ready to go.
Yeah, it's her 10th win of the season too, which for a freshman who hasn't even played the whole season, she started playing regularly in November. So, she has just been a lock for Northeastern. And I think that this matchup against BU is going to be really good because, like I said, this is a repeat of last year's championship game. And I think that this BU team is better than they were last year. Last year, like we talked about last week, it seemed like they were overperforming expectations in this tournament. They went in with a goal to win it. Nobody was expecting them to win it, and they got right there to the end. They obviously lost in overtime to Northeastern, but they were so close, and I know that they're going in with fire this year. And I think just of the teams that I met at the Women's Beanpot Media Day, I was so impressed by their poise and their professionalism. You even said it last week. Like, those girls were so professional. They meant business, and like, they're coming in to win this tournament. And I think that they have as good of a shot as anybody. I mean, I know that they won their game against Harvard 2-1 in overtime. They actually came from behind. They scored the tying goal with 1 minute left and then won it in OT. But BU outshot Harvard 41-10. And my one thought coming into this game was that Harvard's goalie, Ainsley Tuffy, I thought she had the potential to steal this game for Harvard, because I know that Harvard has had a tough season, but Harvard's goaltending has actually been good. Like, she's ranked 4th in the ECAC in goals allowed per game. She's ranked 4th in the ECAC, I believe, in save percentage. And so I thought that she had the ability to steal this game for Harvard, and she almost did. You saw BU really like grind it out there at the end, and obviously win it. But I think the fact, though, that BU played so well, they dominated possession of the puck. Like I said, outshot them 41-10. And Northeastern blocked 20 shots. Or excuse me, Harvard blocked 20 shots in addition to that. So that, like, imagine how many shots they were getting on net throughout that. That's 61 shots. Like, that is crazy.
That's a lot too for your defense to handle, right? Like, you talk about having, playing both sides of the puck, right? You want to play offensively and defensively. And, when your defense has to make stop after stop after stop, that takes a toll on your offense, even if it's not, the same exact players who are blocking shots, making the saves, all the things. You need those momentum shifts. You need to make defensive stops turn into offensive goals, right? And so when you don't have that, that really hurts. But BU, like, they've taken the pride since the very beginning of their season, before it even started. And that's what they really talked about in their media day, in their interview with you, Laura. They were like, people came in good shape. We set our culture. We said what the standards were going to be, and we encouraged just this insane level of competitive energy. And they showed up and really did show that. And what was cool to see is BU's athletic department is claiming them as the late heroics. And I love that term.
Yes, totally agree. So we have BU Northeastern competing again in the championship game. Who do you pick to win it? I'm kind of thinking right now, I think that BU might avenge their loss from last season. And I think it's going to be a tight game. Don't get me wrong. I think this game is going to shape up exactly like it did last year. I think it's going to be a 2-1 win, BU in overtime. Just flip the switch. But, I mean, Northeastern, like I said, they're so good. Lisa Jensen has been so good in net for them. And they have Skylar Irving. She's always an X factor in these games. It feels like whenever there's a big moment, I'm interviewing Skylar Irving post-game. She scored the game winner. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. But and speaking with those BU girls last week, they just feel so poised and like they're going to get it done no matter how.
I'm gonna agree with you. I think that late heroic attitude and having that experience, sometimes when you get really close to the fire and you could have won, could have lost, it just ignites something within your team. And I think that's going to carry over into this championship game.
Well, the championship game is next Tuesday at TD Garden. You're not going to want to miss it. I will be there. I will be ringside reporting. I'm so excited for it. I am so excited to have that moment where I get to interview, the winning coach, the winning team members, and it's going to be so special. I know this week is going to be all about preparation for me, but it's a moment that I'm really looking forward to. And, when I've spoken with all of the teams and all of the girls and all of the coaches, the thing that they always say about last year is it was that moment during the national anthem when, the lights dimmed, they brought up, the American flag on all of the ribbons around the arena. And that was the moment for them when it really just like washed over them with how cool it was that they were actually getting to play a game in TD Garden and seeing all the little girls and boys with their signs and the fact that the entire lower bowl was full. Like, that was the moment that still stands out to them a year later. So I'm looking forward to getting to see that in person myself.
Well, I'm looking forward to watching Laura report on it. So let's go. Congratulations. That is a huge deal, Laura, and just excited to watch you kill it, because I know you're going to do amazing.